today a new topic, that is outbreeding devices. So what are outbreeding devices? Actually, outbreeding devices means it is a mechanism or process which plants adapt to prevent self-pollination or to promote cross-pollination. So, outbreeding devices are the mechanism or process which plants adapt to prevent self-pollination. Prevent self-pollination. Prevent self-pollination, or it promote cross-pollination. Cross the mechanism or process to adapt, prevent self-pollination or to promote cross-pollination. Okay. These outbreeding devices also called as contrivances of cross-pollination. Contrivances of cross-pollination. Okay, of cross-pollination. Then, what are the reasons for outbreeding mechanism? There should be some reasons for outbreeding mechanism. What are they? The first reason is inbreeding depression. The first reason is inbreeding depression. The first reason for outbreeding device is inbreeding depression. Okay, so inbreeding depression means if a plant or a flower, it continuously self-pollinate or inbreeding, it causes inbreeding depression. That is the first reason for outbreeding mechanism. Then the second reason for outbreeding mechanism is there is no genetic variation. There is no genetic variation. There is no genetic variation. Then the third reason is unisexuality. Unisexuality. Then the last reason is unsynchronized pollen release. Unsynchronized pollen release. Unsynchronized pollen release. So these are the major reasons for outbreeding mechanism. First one is inbreeding depression. Second one is no genetic variation. Third one is unisexuality, and fourth one is unsynchronized pollen release. Sorry. Then outbreeding devices can be of two types. Okay, the outbreeding devices are mainly, we can classify the outbreeding devices into two. That is dicliny or monocliny. The outbreeding devices. Outbreeding devices. Okay, outbreeding devices, this we can mainly classify into two. First one is dicliny. Second one is monocliny. Dicliny and monocliny are the two outbreeding devices or more precisely we can say that dicliny is unisexual or unisexuality. Dicliny is unisexuality. Monocliny is bisexuality. Monocliny is bisexuality. Okay. So outbreeding devices, we can classify outbreeding devices into two, that is dicliny and monocliny. Dicliny also known as unisexuality. Monocliny is known as bisexuality. Now we can discuss dicliny and monocliny detail. First one, dicliny. So outbreeding devices, it actually the mechanism or process to which the plant adapted to prevent self-pollination or to promote cross-pollination. It is also known as contrivances of cross-pollination. The major reasons for outbreeding mechanism are inbreeding depression, no genetic variation, unisexuality, and unsynchronized pollen release. Then the outbreeding devices can be of two major types, that is dicliny and monocliny. Dicliny also called as unisexuality, monocliny also called as bisexuality. Okay. Now first one, dicliny. First one, dicliny, also called as unisexuality. Unisexuality. Okay. So when the flowers are unisexual, so there is only cross-pollination is possible. That we all know, if the flowers are unisexual, only cross-pollination is possible. So there are two types. Okay, there are two types, that is monoecious and dioecious. Unisexuality or dicliny, that are of two types, that is monoecious or dioecious. Monoecious or dioecious. Okay. So monoecious. Come to monoecious. The male and female flowers are on the same plant, that is called monoecious. The male and female flowers are on the same plant, that are called monoecious. Example, coconut, bitter gourd. Okay. Example, coconut, bitter gourd are some of the examples which comes under monoecious category. So this coconut, bitter gourd having male and female flowers are on the same plant. Some plants like castor and maize. Okay, so it will always prevent autogamy and it will prefer cross pollination. So plants like castor and maize. Plants like castor and maize. Okay. Plants like castor and maize, they always prefer cross-pollination and they prevent self-pollination. So, monoecious means both the male and female flowers are on the same plant. Example, coconut, bitter gourd, etc. In some plants like castor and maize, autogamy is always prevented and the cross-pollination is always takes place. That is monoecious. Come to dioecious. Dioecious means male and female flowers are present on the different plants, that are dioecious. Example, Borassus, carica, phoenix. Borassus, carica, phoenix are the different types of plant where dioecious condition is present. In all these three, both self-pollination and cross-pollination are prevented. Okay, so both type of pollination are prevented in these three plants. Both cross-pollination as well as self-pollination are prevented in Borassus, Carica and Phoenix plants. So that's all about dikini. Okay, dikini is unisexuality, which means the male and female flowers are on the same plant are called monoecious, where they are on the different plants are called dioecious. Now come to bisexuality or monocliny. Bisexuality or monocliny. Monocliny or bisexuality. Okay, bisexuality. The flowers are bisexual. Bisexuality means the flowers are bisexual, so that it is adapted to prevent self-pollination. Then the monocliny or bisexuality are of several types. Which include dichogamy, hercogamy, heterostyle, and self-sterility. So the monocliny, it may contain dichogamy. Then the second one is hercogamy. Then third one is heterostyle, and fourth one is self-compatibility. Okay, so what are these? Dichogamy, hercogamy, heterostyle, and finally self-compatibility. Okay, let us discuss what is dichogamy. So dichogamy means the flowers are bisexual and the anther and stigma are mature at different times. Dichogamy means the flowers are bisexual but the anther and stigma are mature at different times. So that obviously the self-pollination is prevented. The dichogamy are of two types. Dichogamy are of two types. Protandry and protogyny. Protandry and protogyny are the two types of dichogamy. So in protandry, the anther or the stamens mature first. In protogyny, the stigma or the gynoecium mature first. Okay, in protandry, the stamens mature earlier than the stigma of the flower, whereas in protogyny, the stigma mature earlier than the stamen of the flower. Some examples, if you look examples for protandry, it is Helianthus and Clerodendrum. Protandry, it is Helianthus and Clerodendrum. Okay, Helianthus and Clerodendrum are the two examples which comes under protandry. In case of protogyny, it is Scrophularia and Aristolochia. It is Scrophularia and Aristolochia. Okay, so dichogamy means the stamens and anther are maturing at different times. Protandry means the stamens mature much earlier than the stigma. In protogyny means the stigma mature much earlier than the stamens. Example for protandry is Helianthus and Clerodendron. Example for protogyny is Scrophularia and Aristolochia. Okay, so these are about dichogamy. Come to hercogamy. What is hercogamy? Hercogamy means in some bisexual flowers, their arrangement of stamen and stigma is like to prevent the self-pollination. In some bisexual flower, the arrangement of stamen and stigma which will prevent the self-pollination. Okay, such type of arrangement can be found in the plant that called Gloriosa superba. Gloriosa superba. Gloriosa superba. Okay, in Gloriosa superba, the style is reflexed away from the stamens. In Gloriosa superba, the style is reflexed away from the stamen, so that obviously there is no self-pollination. And such another type of stamen and style arrangement can be seen in hibiscus. In hibiscus to prevent self-pollination. In hibiscus, the stigma which project far above the stamens. That if you observe the plant's hibiscus, you can see that the stigma which project far above the stamens. Okay, far above the stamens. So that are called hercogamy. Hercogamy means the arrangement of stamens and stigma to prevent the self-pollination. Such arrangements can be seen in Gloriosa as well as in hibiscus. In Gloriosa, the style is reflexed away from the stamens, whereas in hibiscus, the stigmas which project far above the stamens. Okay, so these are about the hercogamy. Then come to heterostyly. Come to heterostyly. Heterostyly means some plants may produce two or more different forms of flowers that are different in the length of stamen and style. Heterostyly means some plants which produce two or three different forms of flowers. Two or three different forms of flowers that are different in their length of stamen and style. So that obviously it will affect the pollination. So the pollination will take place only between the organs of the same length. Okay, wherever the style length and the stigma length is same, so style length and the stamen length is same, their pollination takes place. When there is no same length, so there is obviously pollination never takes place. Such method is in the heterostyly. So in heterostyly, some plants are produced different kinds of flowers having different in their length of stamen and style. Then heterostyly are of two types, that is distily and tristily. Heterostyly are of two types, that is distily and tristily. Okay, distily and tristily. So what is meant by a distily? Distily means the plant produce two forms of flower. Okay, distily means two. Di means two. So the plants which produce two types of flower. Two types of flower. Okay, one having long stigmatic papillae, short stamens, small pollen grains. So what are the conditions of one flower? Long style, long stigmatic papillae, short stamens, small pollen grains. And another flower having short style, small stigmatic papillae, long stamens and large pollen grains. So extremely two extremes. One having long style and long stigmatic papillae, another having short style and short stigmatic papillae, and one having short stamens and small pollen grains, another having long stamens and large pollen grains. Okay, so such type of two different flowers are produced in the plant Primula. Example, Primula. So distally can be seen in Primula. So what happened means the stigma of one flower and the another flower which are not in the same level, so that there would be no pollination. Okay, similarly other case also. So this helps to prevent the self-pollination. Then come to Tristili. Tristili means tri. Tri means three. Okay, so the plant produce three kind of flowers. The plant produce three kind of flowers with respect to the length of the style and stamen. So with respect to the length of style and stamen, the plants produce three different types of flowers. Okay, so here the pollen from flowers of one type can pollinate only other two types, but not thereon. So the plant produce three types. So pollen from one type can pollinate only other two types, but not thereon. So this is one example to prevent self-pollination. So such Tristili case can be seen in the plant Latirum. Okay, so this is about heterostily. Now come to self-pollination. Come to self-sterility. Last one is self-sterility. Self-sterility or self-incompatibility. Self-sterility or self-incompatibility. Okay, so what is self-sterility or self-incompatibility? When some plants, the pollen grain of flower which reaches the stigma of the same flower, it is unable to germinate or to prevent to germinate on its own pollen grains. Okay, its own pollen or its own stigma. When the pollen grains of a flower reaches the stigma of the same flower, it is unable to germinate. Such condition is called self-sterility or self-incompatibility. This self-sterility and self-incompatibility can be seen in the plants Passiflora and Abutilon. Abutilon and Passiflora. Okay, so Abutilon and Passiflora. So these are about the outbreeding devices. So we discussed about outbreeding devices, that is dicliny and monocliny. Okay, try to find out more examples. Then next small topic is pollen pistil interaction. Pollen pistil interaction. Pollen pistil interaction. Pollen pistil interaction. So we know all the pollination does not always mean fertilization. All pollination does not always mean pollination, and to carry out pollination, the pistil need to recognize the pollen grain of same species. So to done the pollination, the pollen grains or the pistil which needs to recognize the pollen grain of the same species. So we can say the pollen pistil interaction is not a small process. What are the major steps which happen in pollen pistil interaction? The major step is, first one, release of pollen. Release of pollen. So the male flowers or the anther which releases the pollen grains, and these pollen grains may landed on the stigma of female flower. Okay, so landing in stigma. Male plants or male flowers releases pollen grains, and these pollen grains may landed on the stigma of female flower. Once the male or the pollen is compactable, the pistil will accept the pollen grain. When the pollen is not compactable, that is incompatible, the pollen will reject the pollen grain. Okay, so if the pollen is compatible, the stigma will accept the pollen grain. If the pollen is incompatible, the pistil will reject the pollen grain. Okay, suppose the pollen grain is compatible, obviously the pistil will accept, and as a result, what happens? Germination of pollen tube. Germination of pollen tube. Germination of pollen tube happens as a result of this compatible or acceptance of pollen grain. Then these pollen tube germination may causes the release of contents and chemicals. Okay, the tip of the pollen tube may breaks and it will releases the chemicals and contents which is present inside the pollen tube. Normally this pollen tube may reaches ovary through style. Okay, the pollen tube reach ovary. Pollen tube reach ovary through style. Pollen tube reaches the ovary through style. Once it reaches, what happens means the male gamete may fuses with the female gamete. Male gamete may fuse with the female gamete. As a result, fertilization may take place. Fertilization may takes place. Okay, as a result, fertilization takes place. So, these are the major steps or major events may happen in the pollen pistil interaction. Pollen pistil interaction. Suppose this is the structure of a pistil. When pollen grains are mature, when anther is mature, it bursts and releases the pollen grains, and the pollen grains may landed on the stigma of the female flower. And due to some chemicals which is released from the pollen grains, the stigma wall may dissolve. As a result, pollen tube may form. So, the pollen may started to germinate and the pollen tube may travel through the style. Pollen tube may travel through the style, and finally it reaches the ovary. Finally, it reaches the ovary. Finally, it reaches the ovary and it meet with the female gamete which is found inside the ovules. As a result, fertilization may take place. We will discuss about the fertilization detailedly in our next class, that is in the fertilization section. So these are about pollen pistil interaction and outbreeding devices. Okay. So first, the anther, it rupture. As a result, the pollen grains are released and these pollen grains may landed on the stigma, and once the pollen grains is compactable, the stigma will accept. As a result, pollen tube may germinate. These pollen tube may travel through the style and reaches the ovary. Once it reaches the ovary, the pollen tube tip bursts and the male gamete may releases, and these male gamete may fuse with the female gamete. As a result, fertilization may takes place. So these are the things which happen in the pollen pistil interaction. Now in our next class we will study how this fertilization is taking place. Okay, how fertilization is taking place, that is in angiospermic, that is flowering plant, double fertilization takes place. Then how the pollen grains contain the nucleus, how many number of nucleus are there, how it will form, how male gametes are produced, how female gametes are produced, then structure of male gamete, structure of female gamete, then the fusion, everything we will study in our next class.